All right, greetings everybody. This is M-Dog, and we're back doing a little video here in the Norwegian Sea. Now, I'm not necessarily going to talk a lot about the most recent patch notes or the changes made here in this video, though it is possible that I will still get around to doing a just a short sort of reaction video to the patch notes. And highlight some of the changes, in particular the changes to some of the new equipment as well as all the new fish that have been added species here to Norway. But I thought it'd be fun just to get a little fishing in. It's been a while for me, so I just decided to come out here and fish a little bit. First of all, let's talk about where we are. We're kind of hovering around down here in the 41-meter bank and seeing what we can run into. And thankfully, I have been able to find a couple of the new species, even just in this spot. So I've seen the herring, which, what a beautiful little model here of the Atlantic herring. I believe this is one of the new ones. And then the lumpfish. This model doesn't do it as much for me, but it's interesting. I mean, I assume this is a real fish. I'm just not familiar with it, but I thought those Atlantic herrings look really sharp, complementary to the mackerel. Kind of like that. So fun to just come out here, throw the line in, and already see a couple of the new species coming out of the water. So I thought I would do a couple of like shorter videos. One, and I just sort of randomly chose an area here to fish for some of the smaller stuff potentially. And then I may also do a video where we'll look at using some of the larger equipment, lures. Let's just kind of see what we catch on that as well. I've also seen some talk. I really need to stream again because I am so out of touch. It looks like though with some of the changes and the addition of new fish species that maybe more people are doing some trolling these days at the Norwegian Sea. So I just need to look into that. I thought I might even just like go for it, experiment with it a little bit. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to try to, get a couple of these experiences in, and I'll record it just in case it's interesting to anybody. As this really is the first time I've played since the update, even though the update's a few days old now. I hadn't had a chance to play yet, so fun to get out here and at least kind of see what we stumble into. And in this spot, again, 41 bank, we have actually caught quite the variety of fish species, as you see. As it often is, again, I can't speak to how good the fishing's been out here since I've been not able to play as much lately, but this is my first day coming out to the 41 bank, and seems like it's good as always, basically, especially when going for the small fish. Not difficult to get on the fish. I believe this is the first non-marker that I've actually had. I think that is the case. All right, let's quickly look at what I'm fishing with here. I've showed you where I'm fishing. Now let's check out what I'm fishing with. And right now it's quite simple. I'm using the handmade foam rubber fish 003, and I'm using it ×3. I've got some different colored beads down here, but basically that's what we're fishing with. And I'll open that up one more time after we cast it again so you can see it one more time. But I just had seen some reports on VK that it looked like the green handmade was doing pretty well with some of the new smaller species, and so I just thought to fully embrace that. This is what we would do. I'm using the Sensi. This was like the rig that I had, one of the last videos I did before kind of taking this break, as this semester has just been a lot busier for me. One of the things I did was just sort of discovered this rig, the Regal 20 with this particular rod, and it has been so good, so fun. I really enjoyed this rig back when I was able to play more. And so anytime I've got a spot like this where I'm going for small to medium sized fish, this is typically what I'm using. So It is nice. We've caught some saithe, some mackerel, so we certainly have some the opportunity to make some bait out here if we needed to. Atlantic herring, huh? I assume nothing changed with that. How do we look at... Oh, records. And then we can go Norwegian Sea. So there's the herring. Okay, so does this work? I guess it does work now, right? So if it's 300 grams and it's an Atlantic herring, we can... So none of mine are 300 grams. So it looks like we now have all three bait options. That's pretty cool. Sorry, again, I haven't looked at the patch notes very thoroughly. I haven't, made that video yet. So I'm actually just discovering things as I'm fishing here. Just recognizing, oh, we do actually have that now, which is very cool. So anyway, this is the setup I'm using. Actually, maybe I'll spend a couple minutes here casting with a... what do you call it? A pilker instead of, and keep the handmade number 3s on the drop shot, but actually change the top to a pilker rig. Maybe we'll do that real quick. Let me see what looks good. I was thinking maybe I had one in mind, but let me just see if anything pops up. Like maybe let's look at weekly for the herring. I'm curious, since we know they are here a little bit. Okay, so none of the pilker rigs like a lurker or anything, none of that's showing up on the weeklies. I mean, again, it doesn't mean that we can't catch them at all on pilker rigs, but they're not showing up. What about those lump? Is that what they start with, is lump? We did catch one of those here, lump fish. Okay, again, it just looks like some of this stuff is either just more people are using those, or I don't know what's going on. The American place is new, right? I guess we could just throw a lurker on there. I was actually thinking about, there was a different one I had in mind that, a wreck fish. I've never heard of that. Must be in the deeper waters based on, oh yeah, I was thinking of, no, not that one. I was thinking of the small version that kind of looks like that. Oh, basking sharks. Good grief. Oh my goodness, don't look at those sizes. That's ridiculous. All right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just switch this to a pilker rig. And I guess just to, kind of see what we can get into. We'll just go with the old lurker setup. And we'll go small for now, I guess. We can switch it to a medium in a minute, but let's just see if this, I don't know, feels any different. The bite rate's been so good with the setup we were using, the jigging rig. It's hard to really compare, because even if the bite rate's really good, it's like, well, it's, okay, so it's just as good as the other was. And now we kind of have to look, was that caught on the foam rubber fish or the lure? Yeah, so we'll just get in a couple more fish here. Again, I didn't, this first video I was definitely not going to go long on this. Same with the next one. If I do end up making a video, just again with the heavier stuff, maybe try trolling and just kind of see how that goes or whatever. Probably won't be super long. I'm trying to just kind of ease into this as I have a little bit of time. Okay. Yeah, I need to find a time to stream just so I can turn to some of the folks who have been fishing all of this since it first came out and really learn. I've got some catch up to do. There's a lot that I probably am missing out on based on how things are responding since the update. So there's a haddock. I mean, we hadn't seen haddock when we were fishing with just foam rubber fish, but again, that doesn't necessarily feel like, I mean, it was on the lurker, so maybe, but I mean, we've seen haddock come in the past on handmade, so I don't really feel like that's necessarily a reliable conclusion to make here. Okay, this has got to be safe, right? The way it's popping. Yeah. And once again, just a amazing bite rate. So fun when it's like this. I have changed over my room to have a standing desk now, so I'm actually, looks like I'm moving around or bouncing more. If that's distracting, it's because I'm actually standing. Typically, I sometimes will still sit, but typically standing when I'm playing these days. Made it all the way to the bottom. What do you know? We're gonna actually get to get some perking going. There you go. Interesting. All right, there we go. That's definitely the longest it's taken to get a bite boat. But, you know, when I first started fishing, before I started recording, it was still kind of the early morning, overnight type hours. And, you know, even then, bite rate was pretty good. And then, of course, early in the morning, first light. I could see during the day here it might slow down a little bit. That's officially my first of this fish species. You know, we all hoped that the first American fish would be the largemouth, right? Well, turns out it's the American place. What happens if you actually Google search this fish? American place. Is it basically just like the flounder? The American place. It's a species of flounder. It's found relatively deep waters. Eastern coast of Canada to Rhode Island. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, why is this in the Norwegian Sea? I mean, is this a... I mean, it's in a quick cursory glance here, I'm not seeing where these are native to the Norwegian Sea, but let's get a little more specific. Yeah, I just don't see it. But I might be missing something. If y'all know something more that I don't know about this, let me know. But just interesting. Like, isn't that the first? That's the first fish with American in the name, correct? I believe that is the case. Yeah, American place. I didn't notice XP. I assume it's maybe similar to the other flounder-like fish that we already had, but I don't know for sure. So yeah, we've actually had 3 of the new fish species. If I remember correctly, there's 12, but again, we're not going to get too deep into the changes here. But 3 in one spot here, that's pretty nice. And who knows, maybe there's even a possibility of more if you're patient. But there's a pollock. There's one of my favorite fish in the sea. And that's the first pollock. We also had 1 cod, so we really are getting even 1 spiny dogfish. I mean, if you look at this, wow, what a wide range of species that we are seeing in this one spot. Always fun when the 41 bank, or you know, the 34 bank for that matter, is going off like this, because it's, well, it just makes us older guys don't have to think quite as hard. You know, we just go to the places we're familiar with and enjoy the fishing. right, so what are we at here? We've got 20 keepers, I think. Yeah, I might go, maybe we'll catch one more fish and then we'll respawn, just so we can quickly look at the prices, especially of the new fish. I'm just curious if we see any trends or if it looks pretty consistent with other species that were already in the game. But this is good. I mean, I'm really glad that continues to be such good fishing here in the Norwegian Sea. So. All right, last fish is, looks like another safe. Looks like we got another safe. Is there anything else we wanted to experiment with real quick? Maybe one more cast. This is what I was thinking about. One of these Jigmeisters. Do I have a slightly larger? Yeah, like the 175. I was kind of just thinking it might be cool to look at one of these Jigmeisters. You know, so I bought these herring. I think we can make them now, if I'm seeing it correctly. But I bought these herring on accident when the map first came out. Obviously, this is overweight, so I'm going to have to make a change here. And so, because it was gold only, I didn't mean to. Anyway, so since then, I've been kind of holding on to them. Well, I think I can not hold on to them anymore. I think we actually can use them to fish with now, so that's kind of cool. If we do this, are we still going to be able to cast? Yeah. So it was just that heavier weight. That's the one thing about this rod. It's fun when you're like dialed in on a smaller setup or a specific setup that the test allows. But when we're doing experimentation like this, we should consider pulling out, the Ocean Queen or something, so that we don't have to think about it and we can just throw different things on there. But anyway, we'll catch one more fish here using the Jigmeister. This is what I was sort of thinking about using. And then I just, sometimes that lurker just calls to you. The blue lurker is just like hanging out. Are you sure you don't want to use me? Lumpfish, man. And that was on the Foam Rubberfish 03. So it's 1:30 in the afternoon. This might be a little slower time. Once again, it looks like we might actually make it down to the bottom here. We got one of these natural squids on there. We'll see what we can run into here. Actually gonna let that drop just a little bit more. Keep it in that bottom layer. Get it perking. All right, there we go. Nice quick bite. Yeah, we'll have to gather some more information. I'm curious about the herring. Like, do they tend to stay towards the surface like the mackerel do? I guess we could throw it and clip it at 20. Yeah, let's do something real quick before we go look at the cafeteria. I mean the fish market. There's another haddock, by the way. All right, let's see if that was on the lure again. Yeah, Jigmeister. These haddocks are going for lures right now. Going for the pilkers. All right, so let's pop this back on, and let's actually just put this right here at 20 meters, and see if we can get a herring this way. It might just be mackerel and saithe, but I'm curious about these herrings. What was on the list? Oh, look at these. Natural shrimp 04 and 07. Ooh. Natural shrimp 04 and 07. Ooh, there's a mackerel. What did that come in on? Foam rubber fish. All right, let's see here. Natural shrimp 04 and 07. A little bonus content here. It's got that orange look to it, doesn't it? Orange and black. And 07. Do I have that one? Yeah. Of course, that's red and... Could do red and black. We'll just go red. All right, let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. This might not be where the herrings are hanging out. You know, there's nothing that says that they have to be in the same spot that the mackerel are, I guess, but you also might not be surprised if they were in the similar spot. That's a little big, I think. Nice safe. Wow. Close to the water surface. Close to the water surface. So the instinct was right. Of course, herring might be a bycatch here. There might be better spots, but I did see a couple here, although it was, you know, it's called, I think, late at night, and they might have just been random at that time. All right, let's see what this is. This could be one. It's a mackerel. The mackerel might just be too strong right now to let the herring in. There we go. On the drop. It's going to be a mackerel. Feel it. I can feel it. I don't know if it'll work with these, but you know what we used to do kind of when the map first came out, one of the things we were doing was like slow reeling it up around the surface. And a lot of times you get fish hitting them. See how that happens? There's another mackerel. All right, I think the mackerel's just too strong right now. But we'll keep working on it. We'll find a more reliable herring spots. I'm sure of it. All right, let me head back to base. 1 second. I did change the option so that I should load right back into the map that I was on instead of loading into the main menu and then choosing what map to go to, which apparently is now an option. Okay, let's look and see. I I don't know. Is there... Oh, we do have a place cafe order. I guess mine's too small. That's kind of cool. Yeah, we're just one cusk away from that order. But all right, so let's see what we've got. The place is worth 7 silver. That seems pretty good for a smaller one. Let's do by price here. All right, so that cod. Oh, look at the lumpfish. Lumpfish ended up being fairly rare based on, like, you know, I got one, but that's the only one I ever saw. Herring. Strong. Maybe that's why we're not catching them. Maybe they are the, like, harder of the smaller fish to land, but the silver amount is intense. And remember, these aren't even big enough to turn into bait. If I looked at it correctly, I think they had to be 300 grams. So imagine how much those are worth. That'd have to be some awfully good bait to turn it into bait. Mackerel have always been good silver, right? Haddock, strong. The bigger saithe come in okay. So American place, not very good, but this also might be like the bottom size range for an actual marker. I'm not sure, but it may be. So, I mean, we're still making a ton of silver out there in a small amount of time. So don't mind that. But yeah, interesting to look at that. Okay, hey, I just, you know, appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. And yeah, teach me, because I'm got some catching up to do. But I think I will do something in a little while. Later today perhaps, and get it recorded and posted at some point soon about some of the larger fish. See if we can just kind of, you know, do some experiments, maybe with trolling, maybe with just fishing. See if we can hit some bigger fish just for fun. So as always, thanks for being here. Peace out. Tight lines, everybody.